My name is Ezra Kazumi. We are playing some Stationeers. This is my first solo adventure, so if you guys don't know, I do stream on Twitch and Kick. As of right now, I'm figuring out some debugging issues with the whole YouTube side of things, so we are fixing to get that dealt with. Um, but this, while we have the Astroneer rocketry stuff going on the Twitch side of things, I figured it was about time that I branched off and, well, did my own thing. So, let's go check it out. So, this particular time, I think I'm going to go start up Europa. Europa. All right. I'm going to do normal, and I'm going to call this solo YouTube. So, I'm not doing a brutal yet. Yet is the key word. But we are going to attempt this and see where it takes us. Not doing rockets. I'm going to try to stay away. But I am going to try to remain on the surface. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I am sick and tired of building basements. All right. So. Okay, I expected that. Be warned, Kanji might freak out a little bit. If you're not familiar with Kanji, Kanji is the avatar that I'm running. If he does freak out, I'll attempt to fix him, but I cannot promise anything. Okay. Let's, I need my tracker cartridge. We can pop that into there. Okay. Actually, right here is a pretty good spot. So, I'm gonna grab my hand tools. I don't have an Ixen here, so I can't rely on an Ixen. So I'm going to set this to flatten, and I'm pretty much going to flatten out this whole area. Because I want a nice flat area to lean on. Now, I have my typical mods that I run with in the advanced programming, so you will see things like my heightened stacking capabilities and my Zoop mods and stuff like that. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're playing along. So, Europa is really, really cold, which means my battery is going to drain fast. My ideal situation would be to get into the indoors and pretty much solidify my comforts. I have this thing where I like to follow a strange plan of origin, and my first computational goal at this point, honestly, is just to get inside. We can worry about the other things later. We can go mining. We can do whatever, but I need to get indoors and I need to start working on the farm. The farm. And yes, you heard it twice. So I'm just going to kind of bring everything together. I typically like to build a 5x5 greenhouse. Simply because I like to run my all of my greenhouse equipment inside, and I also like to store the crates inside. Definitely need a little bit of that silicon, and my goal is to not infringe on any holes, making any. There goes my English. Making any holes near my base or on my base or around my base. So I'm going to probably go a distance. I don't have an Ixen here. So I am going to be doing all of the hand mining, at least for a little bit. At least for a little bit. That is the goal. Okay. So we're almost flat here. And I have pretty much about 7 days. It's about 7 days before I end up getting the dreaded storm on Europa. Um, it's typically longer on say Vulcan, but in most cases it is going to be that 7 days. All right. So we can put that away for now. I'll pretty much leave that alone. And what I'm going to do... Oh, my tool bag is behind my face. Let me fix that for you. Okay, no holes means I don't have to worry about things blowing away. And I can pretty much get this started. Okay, so what do we got here? I need all of these crates. I'm going to need to bring that fuel tank inside. While I won't use it for very long, my first absolute goal at this particular moment would be to make a arc welder, whether it be the basic one or the... Okay, we are losing daylight. I need to kind of rush this along, so please pardon me if I just stop talking and just kind of focus. But yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go flying now. Welcome to Europa, everybody, where 9 times out of 10, I'm probably going to explode. I have exploded on this planet before. It was not fun. I played as a Zerillion, and I exploded while loading into a session. It was great. So, for those who are unfamiliar, I have this tendency to go creative. My intention is to never go creative in something like Stationeers. I'm pretty bad at it. I'm gonna be honest. Where I will just, in fact, go creative mode in games that I just don't want to deal with the the silly mechanics. So we have done a 4x6. That's okay. We can rock with it. We can rock with it. We can rock with it. And turn my jetpack on. I'm going to kind of do an offset door so that I can leave this space for all of my stuff. I am not going to put... no, I have a container in the way. That's why, like, my brain froze for a second. But it is one of those things, like, time is not necessarily a problem on something like Europa, but it becomes a problem when you're dealing with something like Vulcan. Vulcan can be an absolute terror. I have a leftover frame. That is great. All right, and I'm gonna make a little hole here for my printers. All right, and if I have enough spare materials, I will use them to pretty much make a small room or doorway so that I can protect my stuff while I am inside. And some of you are like, "Well, Ezra, that is way too big of a space to do everything, isn't it?" Yes, it is. But I like the comfort of having a little bit of safety here. Like, it's one of those things, like, you can never be safe enough with something like this. And I don't have... Do I have any more of those? I think I do. I just gotta find it. I do. 30 more iron walls. I think I'll have enough to build that out. But my priority would be uh building the greenhouse first. Oh, of course I placed one wrong. It's always the case. Now the other guys probably saw me boot up the game earlier. Hey, guys, if you're watching this, I did not mean to leave myself online and confuse you. Um I was honestly trying to set up for this recording because I play so often with them. It's kind of like one of those things like I get distracted and I forget things. I'm going to go ahead and close as much of this off as I can. I'm going to leave the glass roofs in. And as you can see, I'm pushing these guys inwards so that I can make sure that when I close this room up, or when I close everything up, basically that I have the ability to place walls on the outside. Okay. So that pretty much handled all of my walls. So a door's going to go right there, and then my airlock's going to go right there. Time to grab some sheets. Oh, nope, that's not sheets. So I have my stacking mud on. For those who are unfamiliar, the stacking mud allows me to go up to 500 on certain objects, 250 on certain objects, and 50 on other objects. Okay, I'm going to turn my jetpack off at this point. Okay, I've ran out my first battery. This is a bit of a conundrum, but not a total conundrum. Okay. All right. And then because I don't actually need them, that one and that one can be remotely unsolidified. I'm going to grab my welder again and I'm just going to get them moving. So y'all guys will be able to see like the full situation I got going on. So what I'm going to do is I think the best solution for me is to get auto miners set up, and I am going to do a bit of coding. I kind of understand it better now that some people in chat have broken it down for me, and pretty much I'm gonna rock with it, and I'm gonna see what I can do with it. This wall does not actually need to exist yet. This wall, this flooring can go for now. I'm going to make sure that I have all the other things kind of filtered out here. I did not get this one. Okay. So, now, I grab the glass sheets, and I kind of close this in. And we might get a solar eclipse today. I'm actually almost willing to bet we're going to get a solar eclipse today. Have I? Nope, I didn't get this one yet. And not that one. Okay, so we've done that. We can pop that on the floor for now. And so that, 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 and that. Make sure that I've gotten everything. It's kind of hard to see it dark. So what you want to actually do is like kind of look over this as you build things and go and like take where you need to, honestly. So like all of the plates that I placed in the interior the printer area, I'm going to pop out. Oh look, the sun came back. And I'm going to pretty much enforce that room to be my printer or to be dealt with. Don't worry, I will make more plates here in a little bit. Okay, I think I have enough. Okay. So I'm gonna grab those. I'm gonna pump them down. All right, I'm gonna close that. Let's see. Portable kit generator. I'm kind of working against a clock here. As much as I hate to say it, I am working against a clock here. So for... Dude. Wonder what that was. Okay. So, because if I do not get... And you're just being in the way for no reason at all. Get out of my way. Nope. I did not mean to do that. And pretty much the idea is to bolt these down so I don't have to worry about them. Alright, so I'm going to grab the wrench. And I'm pretty much going to push this over to that. And connect it. And as you can see, I got some extra batteries, so I am good. Now, obviously, there are some issues with Stationeers as a whole. Some things are going to face through walls. There's nothing I can do about it. That is the game state. That is not me. So, we'll just deal with it as we need to. And I just ran out of battery power. Alright. We are back to being powered. We have been powered. And I'm going to grab this red crate. I am missing a container, and I have no idea where it went. It is that water container that I dropped. Uh-oh. There we go. Water containers apparently blend in really well with Europa. I have no idea why. Up, up, up. Thank you. Okay. And then we're going to pop that right there. So. And just to make sure that I'm a little bit more protected, I'm going to grab the kit doors. And I'm just going to use that to, is it this? Yes. To give me a little bit of protection here. So I can make more doors in a minute, and I can also make sure that everything is airtight before I start actually doing anything. So this should be a room. Right now, it is a super cold room, but it is a room nonetheless. And that is what we want. If I am talking too fast, please be sure to like slow my video down here because I'm going to kind of be blazing through this because I've done this like a million times, and well, it's kind of one of those things. You do it a million times, you kind of get fast at it, and then you're like sitting there at a million miles an hour. Okay, solid generator. Do get an upright turbine. Might be very useful. I could get some batteries online. That would be ideal. So let's pop that right there. And my ideal situation, actually, honestly, would be to some extra cables. Um, to connect this like this. I want a battery for my other side as well. And I am going to pretty much build an entire platform of nothing but wind turbines on separate circuits so I don't blow my heavy cables and funnel their charge into pretty much every battery across the base. I don't need that stuff yet. I need a furnace. Do I have an arc furnace? I have the autolathe and the arc furnace. We're going to grab those. And we're going to quickly put down the autolathe, which is going to go... Well, we'll pop it out one wall there. All right. And because I'm a glutton for punishment, I'm going to put this inside. Okay. So, some of you might be wondering, why now to start video production? Why is Ezra thinking about this now? And I've kind of thought about it. I was going to do The Long Dark, and I was going to play that all the way through, but I realized how incredibly boring. At least we're here. There's a possibility that I could explode myself given circumstances. Now, I am usually not one to scum save, but if something stupid happens within the game, obviously I am going to not even leave it up to fate. I'm just going to restart from where I was, and whatnot. But The Long Dark wasn't really that interesting. Uh, it was a game. There wasn't really much substance to it, and I tried to get my headspace into there, and it was just a pain in the butt, to be honest. So unfortunately I have decided to cancel that series, but needless to say, I will this is something that I love to do, and I plan to do it. I'm itching my eyeball, so he might be freaking out right now. Scratching eyeball. Okay. I have activated pretty much everything I can. Okay. This beacon, I want it to remain active as long as I can. I have 75% battery in that, and I have that. All right. I need this tracking beacon. Without it, I am completely lost. If I have my tracking beacon and my tracking card, I should be fine. Okay. I'm gonna start popping some of this. I'm pretty good on water and food for right now. Um, if you know me from, or if you know my history from something like, uh, actually, I probably do need to drink. If you know my Mars shenanigans, you will recognize the risk that I take, and 9 times out of 10, they're probably stupid anyway. Okay, so I have refueled myself. Time to do some mining and pretty much get a lot of stacks of stuff. I have a notorious problem with keeping my tools on. So, for those who are wondering if I ever complain about my tools dying, now you know why. Stationeers, you never cease to disappoint me. If you've noticed, I am not moving when I'm actually mining here, it's because of the push-pull factor of the atmosphere. So the higher the atmosphere, the more you get pushed and whatnot as you're digging out the voxels. Oh, there's some gold here. And I'm going to try to get some oxides as well. Or not oxides, volatiles. Because, yeah, it's a 50-50 ratio mix on volatiles to NOS. NOS is not deadly in this atmosphere. It's deadly with a H2 atmosphere. So, for those who are unfamiliar with what H2 is, volatiles is H2. Yay! Explosives! Through day 2. So, our first storm should be approaching shortly. So, what my goal would be is to finish out closing out the rest of the base and moving on to steel manufacturing. If I can get steel manufacturing, I can oh, I'm getting lost. If I can get steel, I can move on to higher priorities like making my base pretty, because if you know me, I like making things pretty. I also like making things big. I don't know if that says something about my conscience. Welcome back home. Okay. So, how much is the battery charge? I'm curious. Oh, we got a decent charge on it. We can turn that off. We can use that battery as our power supply over here. Idealistically, I would want to get a beacon on this base. And we're going to have a little bit of echo for the time being. I'm going to pop that in there for a minute. Actually, tablet. Oh, tablet, you go in there. I'm going to try to keep things tiny. Thanks, game. I am so glad that I have fulfilled my promise to remain alive for 2 days. We have frozen pollutant. Yay. I'm so glad I could get frozen pollutant. It's great. But yeah, this is my first time recording, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. So, like, I'm trying my best here. I do not understand how people cannot keep their backpack from getting dangerously manipulated to the point where it's all a mess. I do not understand it myself. I have tried, and I has failed. Portable air scrubber. I'm probably going to need that. Go ahead and get this set up now. Not that I think I'll need it, but just in case, I am going to want to paint my suit at some point. That's not great. That's not great. That's not great. Airlock console. Do I want it? I want it on this side. Do you want it on that side? Okay. So, I'm going to grab this. So, I want... Yeah, you know what? I haven't ever done this before, so we're gonna do it this way. Normally I have normally I have a way of doing my airlocks, so this is going to be a little bit different for me. There. I'm gonna grab my vents. I'm gonna grab a vent. Oh. Alright, and then I'm going to put that there. I'm gonna grab my active vent. And one of these APCs will move at some point. Right now, I'm just using it as a charging junction. Okay, I only got an advanced, or I only got an airlock chip, so that's not going to be great. So I will have to make an advanced airlock at some point. I can pump that into the terminal there, so I don't lose it. And then, yeah. Okay, that is dealt with. Does we have the iron? Yes, we have the iron. So I'm going to go ahead and get some copper smelted. Split half. And yes. Oh, no, that's iron. Oops, my bad. Okay, split it. Split. Split. And I'm going to start that. We're going to keep that copper rolling. I don't need you. All right. We only have the furnace on there, so it's surprisingly not taking up that much power. My goal at this current moment is to get the hydraulic pipe bender and the electrical printer and the furnace. And if I can get that, then we should be good. But I'm going to start printing plates. Leave that on for a minute. And pretty much I want to cover what I hasn't covered yet. Be warned, the my grammatical speaking, it's just the way I speak, unfortunately. Well, I has done it. Okay, we're running into that battery issue that I was talking about earlier. It's still echoey in here. As you build up your base, the echoes start dissipating. More and more of those effects go away. So I mean, like we're in a good spot right now for the storm. Oh, I apparently did not get that. Our copper's done. Okay, so copper dealt with. I'm going to get the silicon. Gold is the hardest to smelt. It has always been the hardest to smelt. Split half. And I have done the maneuver that I always do with that, and I don't pay attention to the actual stacks, the stack size, and cause myself issues. So, but yeah, my goal for this series is to kind of learn things. Obviously not on the building side of things, but more on the coding side of things. And y'all guys are gonna be able to like help me along and decide like how we do the base and whatnot. So I'm looking forward to that. Oh god. I need a door. Let's grab a kit door. That requires 7 grams of iron? Really? I'm gonna need more iron. Alright, and then I'm going to do what I normally do, and I'm going to use these doors. And for those who are wondering, my OCD takes over and I do things like this. So you're just gonna have to deal with it. Unfortunately, this is how my brain works. Okay, so we have started to cool off in here again. All right. Glass. A nice glass. Let's get the doors dealt with first. I feel like doors are important. And if I get them dealt with first, then I will have less issues. We're not worried about the orientation of the windows, even though it's going to bug me because I'm going to replace all of these windows. Get that in there. Gold is probably the longest to take. And then I'm going to smelt some more iron because I used it all for the manufacturing of plates. I have this habit of leaving my printers on when I'm not using them. And unfortunately, that is a me problem. Have I dealt with all of the... I has. Oh. I will probably need that gold or that sell it or that glass at some point. Actually, I do need it. I need it for that. Okay, my battery's running low and I don't really have a choice. Which one of you are full? I need to set up a... Okay, we are getting charge. We are not getting a lot of charge, but we are getting charge. Nonetheless, that is a good sign. I need to charge batteries. Oh. Nope. I totally screwed the pooch on that one. There we go. Find them back in my backpack. My batteries are going to die. Okay. Okay. Need to get that on the charger. All right. Remember that coal I was talking about? We're going to use it now. And pretty much the only reason we're doing it this way is so that I can have charge. I'm not going to use all of this power. I'm just going to use it to charge my batteries. And for now, it's going to remain a unfortunately, it's going to remain a problem. No matter what I do, it's going to be a problem. Okay, so we'll pop the 4 coal in there. We'll pop 63 in there. That'll keep the lights on. Okay. Have we has not done all the gold, but we got a good chunk of it. She's gonna keep screaming at me. There's nothing I can do about it until this is all dealt with. And we're pretty much gonna recharge as many batteries as we can until that coal generator runs out. Unfortunately, this is going to become an issue. One of the things that I would like to do, and I think that's what we'll probably head towards, is I'm going to put this system on an airlock. so that y'all guys get y'all guys don't have to worry about the constant freezing of the ices. Although it is an opinion of mine that I could probably save all of my carbon dioxide ice and use it for my greenhouse. So I might actually go and do that. Pure carbon dioxide ice. Nice. Are you going to let me in the hole? God bless. Holes. Okay. I has made the gold. I need to start up another batch of iron. Iron's not going to take that long to regulate. And then I'm going to get onto my printers. So the way to deal with this is I can do it that way. And I could just start pushing it into my mining bag. All right. Printer. Electronics printer. Let's get it going. So I can transition over to heavy cables as soon as possible. What I want to do is I want to get I want to get a big furnace going and start the process of making high quality materials fast. The way to do this is I'm going to start small and then I'm going to work my way up to the larger stuff because I don't want to overload myself with a whole bunch of burdens that I don't need. So there was something that I needed to go gather. While this makes, I'm going to quickly, if you do this while that printer is printing, it will not print anymore. All right, and then I'm going to pop that in my backpack because no reason to have it out. I just realized I didn't receive any eggs. I could be crazy. Residential supplies. I have some lockers. We're going to take these lockers and we're going to pop them out here for all of my ores and stuff. This is pretty much cold storage at its peak. And then I can come up here and grab what I need basically at any point. And for those of you wondering, why am I storing ices in lockers? This place is cold enough to keep these temperatures low. Or keep these ices at freezing point. So, still making carbon dioxide ice. Okay. I've made the electronics printer. Let's pop it there. There we go. You can see I'm having a heck of a time with all of this. I do have some leftover plastic and iron. We're going to get that out of the way. Oh, that's iron. I need plastic. and I need a screwdriver. So I now have the possibility of making a high capacity line, which is going to fill my reserves of batteries. Obviously, we're not ready for batteries. We haven't even started looking towards batteries, but my goal would be to place my batteries inside so that they don't have the freezing temperature issue. You can also successfully do this by making a vacuum room and placing them inside. But what I like to do, honestly, is I like to skip the battery process entirely and head straight for the big batteries, the Stellite batteries. So we're gonna kind of do that here. So then I have the maximum amount of power that I can possibly get, and then we're gonna start pretty much littering the rest of our platform here with um uh, rain function, uh stellite battery for the full power of the wind. But in order to do such a thing, I'm going to have to make a furnace. So I do not have enough iron. Great. Awesome. Uh Pipe. Do I have enough for a pipe bender? I do not. I need more iron. Um so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop that in there and see how much I get. Okay, that battery's charged a little bit. That battery's fully charged. That battery's at decent charge. And pretty much at this point, I'm going to close those windows. I'm going to split half. I'm going to pop another 50 in there for now. We'll pop our coal in there so that we constantly have power being funneled to the battery here. It's about good time too. Uh, APCs pull the maximum amount of charge on their line, so that's why I'm choosing to use my APCs as my battery chargers. Obviously, we'll switch to like the shenanigans of transformers and whatnot after a while, but for now, it is recommended that we stick on what we're doing and grabbing more of this carbon dioxide. That carbon will come in handy. I will assure you that it will be the most handiest of handy in the world. Let's clean up in here. Pop that away. And I can get some food in my belly. Unlock, open, eat, 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 eat. Close helmet, lock helmet. And hopefully my little man will disappear on that menu. Probably not, but I can hope. Oh, more carbon dioxide. This is good. I'm going to have a full stack of it before my time's up. Get out of here, polluting ice. That's a great thing about Europa. Pollutant just turns to ice when you deal with it. How much we can do that. That's 167. That should last me a little while this melts. So we're gonna go ahead and make the hydraulic pipe bender, and then I'll get the furnace up, and then we'll start rocketing towards that. My goal at this moment is to get the hydraulic pipe bender so I can set up the rest of my furnacery stuff. And then we're going to rocket forward with some more atmospherics and stuff. I'm going to try to preset up my stuff. I apparently have some damaged lungs. That's okay. Those will be fixed as soon as I get a pressurized space. Unfortunately, it is one of those cases where I'm going to have to like focus on making a pressurized space as soon as I can. Okay. And reserve bottle over there. Okay. So once we get the pipe bender, we can get our airlock dealt with. That would be the ideal case, and pretty much once I build the airlock, I can pretty much close this space off, vacuum it out, and make it warm in here because it's stupid cold. Somebody made it stupid cold on this planet, and I don't know why. It probably has something to do with the sun. I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm probably just collect all of this and like use it for other things like, oh, I don't know, making a radiator situation. Although I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest here. Uh the likely chance of using pollutant for that is very slim. What I would want to use is something like nitrogen, oxygen, or volatiles to do my radiator lines. Now, this temperature is perfect for making fuel. And some of you might be wondering why it's still negative 145. Solid fuel is oxygen volatiles at negative 180 for liquid. This is liquid oxygen, liquid volatiles. So that's why we would probably be better off doing rockets on this planet. I don't plan on it because we already have a rocket series coming in from Twitch. So y'all guys are kind of stuck with me on this side with not doing rockets. Who knows? I might change my mind. We'll see. And then I'm going to pop the uh, pipe bender over here. I'm going to grab the pollutants. Go ahead and grab that out of there. We'll pop a large battery in there, and then I'll get the situation with that dealt with. Come on, Ezra, turn off your printers. Ooh. I didn't have very many of them left. Oh. And I have made a grave error. Alright. Alright. Backpack getting a little messy again. Done it again. Ladies and gents, this is what I like to call the typical Ezra fashion. Okay. So we have dealt with that. I'm going to grab my wire cutters and I'm going to pretty much steal the line off of the auto lathe here. I'm going to bring it over. It doesn't actually matter if you accidentally connect up a data port. In most particular cases, I like to connect up the data port so that I can manipulate the codes on the printers. I have 52 pure carbon dioxide ice with more on the way. All right, printer time. We can pretty much do that. Okay. I'm going to pull this stuff out. All right, and then I'm going to grab an active vent, a passive vent, and I need an advanced. Oh, can't do it in this printer. I have to go over to the other printer. Okay. Electro printer. And we're going to grab that. And I'm going to make a transformer. And why do you say, why am I making a transformer? Well, you'll find out. And then I want an advanced airlock chip. And just for a last kind of um situation, I am going to grab a light. The light is not necessary right now and probably could be considered a hindrance. All right, so I've done that. And then I'm going to take this off. I'm going to grab that battery. All right, and then I'm going to pretty much do that. Okay. Grab the gas sensor as well and turn it. All right. And that will allow me the possibility of running all of my line down that way. So I'm going to grab my APC here. And I'm going to point it downwards. Going to grab my active vent. Point it towards that side. I'm going to grab that chip. And I'm going to grab that. And because I have the advanced airlock chip in there, I'm fine to do this. All right. It's okay. Some of you might be wondering why do I have that angled. It is simply for aesthetical reasons. Yay, aesthetics. Woo. We're making it work. All right. So, I have everything that I need set up for an airlock. I need the labeler. I will need the labeler for that purpose. I need a bigger tool belt. I'm going to be honest. As soon as I get the possibility, we're going to make our double loop system like we usually do. Oh, I just realized. That is actually the worst console to deal with because it only has ratings for the, or things for the top and the bottom. Okay. Well, okay, I'll just drop everything. That's all right. All right. We'll grab that. All right. Pop that in the top there. All right. And then I'm going to grab my loop, and then boop. We'll make it that way. And then power, power, power. Oh, we're not done yet. That way. That way. That way. That way. And then I'm going to go up and around. And then I'm going to grab my light. And I personally like these lights for airlocks, but I also like these ones. Okay. And then that's dealt with. And I'm going to clean my backpack because apparently I am a messy person. Don't worry, this is natural. This is what I normally do. Yeah, that light works. Alright, I have a light. It probably will kill the battery faster. It's okay. Alright, and now I'm going to connect the analog to power. Alright, and then I need one more thing. I need this transformer. Now, this is going to be for the battery charger, and, well, obviously, the battery charger is not necessary to be on a transformer yet, but I'm doing it anyway because of my sanity. Split half. Yeah, we'll run 96 for a little bit. Alright, now I'm getting full power to that, and I'm getting full power to that. Awesome. Let's close all of those up. Alright. We've done it. We've did it. We've done it. And, we're technically ready to depressurize this segment. Okay, so I set the outward vents. Okay. And pretty much we wait. Actually, this video is already an hour and a half long. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got time for this episode. Catch us in the next one. It should be out next week. I'm not going to lay any promises, but that is what we got time for, and I will see you guys then. See you later, everybody.